Hey everyone, it's me, Nate Kalima. Welcome, and I'm glad for y'all to be consistent here with the weekly training. It's unbelievable to see what's going on here today. We got Alvin out of Team Wisconsin, JC over Team Florida. There's a whole bunch of people that are clamoring to have a difference here in 2024, and myself included. I'm very excited to see the future of Ion. We have so many incredible things going on, and to support that marketing, we're doing a lot of new marketing pushes. We have a new what we call swag, or we have merch where you can go on to the online store that's coming, where you can buy your own Ion apparel and wear that at the different events. And to have that kind of Ion apparel is amazing because I remember when I was promoting different things in the past, I would always wear my shirt with the logo and things like that. So I'm excited to get my new Ion merch when it's available to me. And I'll be wearing it every single day. Why? Because there was people back in the day who would tell me, "Oh, that's kind of corny, right? You're wearing that same looking shirt every single day when you're promoting this thing." But it was me who had the last so-called laugh because then people would like, "Oh, I know what Nate is with. I know what Nate is doing." And it actually mirrors one of the most successful people in affiliate marketing and direct sales in all time. And there was a company that was in weight loss, and one of the leader's name was Mark. And Mark would wear a little button that would say, "Lose weight now, ask me how." And he didn't care what anyone thought, is that he would wear that button everywhere, and then everyone else would duplicate that. And suddenly, all over the place, people were doing their weight management challenge. They didn't have the best product in the world. They didn't have in the beginning the right system. But what happened was that they had a burning desire, willingness to work, and they were so coachable that they were able to build something absolutely incredible. Now, when it comes to our business, we are the same way. What I was talking to one of my friends and mentors, and he's a six-figure a month earner, and he was saying something is that we really thought about it, really talked about it, and it's really true. The more we go Jetsons, the more Flintstones will win. I'll say it again, the more we go Jetsons, the more Flintstones will win. And what do I mean by that? And the statistics is showing really well what's going on is that there's less and less of the influencer marketing happening. A lot of big brands like Fashion Nova and Revolve and all these things are pulling back on a lot of the influencer marketing, and they're actually doing more with the micro influencers, or in other words, real people. That's what it's all about. And so, how is that going to affect your Ion organization, your Ion business? It's actually a really good thing. And what that all leads down to is one thing: human connection. Because of AI, people don't know what they're seeing online and so on and so forth. And these are the things that you may not even see online. However, the real business is going to be done on the ground, it's going to be in your backyard. And for those of you who are good at online specialties, that I'm not saying that you're not going to do that. What I'm saying is that as you find people online, you're going to have to take it offline. There's some people who'll be always good online, and that's how you use the weekly training and leverage that for your benefit. However, what happens here is that you're going to find new people who'll actually be better because they want and crave human connection. I say it all the time. I mean, if you take out the religious connotation, I mean, when you go to any religious gathering, what makes one pastor have 50 parishioners or they have 50,000? It's really the culture that they built, online culture. Now, what if they only built online? But you see some big churches, they have the online so people from out of state can watch it. But what's going on in their local marketplace where all the fire's at? Okay, so where all the fire is at, they're doing the weekly get-togethers. They're doing in the weeklies. They're having people get together. So all of that's in one location. However, all the excitement is still happening across the country and across the world because people can plug in on the video. But where's a lot of that fire? It's in their backyard. And so if you're finding people online, you still got to teach someone, bring them to someone who specializes in being offline. That's someone like me. I'm always big on building something offline. I'm big on that. Why? Because you could find someone, but how do you find someone that's big, say online? Is that usually they build a person-to-person, socially conscious business, meaning that they're going to be connecting with people in their local marketplace. And they're going to have you noticed, if you look at the statistics of any company, and I'm really good at numbers, I'm good at analytics, I'm good at building cultures and seeing how businesses work. When it comes to it, they usually start and build the fire somewhere. And sometimes it'll be multiple fires. But if you look, there's some countries Some companies, you'll see a majority of their fires coming from one state, like in Oklahoma and so on and so forth. But that fire and that basically gets people from the other states and the other countries to say, look what Oklahoma's doing. Now, I'm just using that example because surprisingly, there's a big company out there where a lot of the revenue is coming from Oklahoma. Now, do you think they were saying when they were first starting the company, I'm excited because one day we're going to wake up, we're going to find someone in the great state of Oklahoma, and that's going to be the largest sales organization that that company has ever had. No, I'm sure they were thinking it was going to be somewhere else, but I'm sure in that little city in Oklahoma, they had a strong community. Now, who knows who may have sponsored that person? It might have been someone online in California or Florida or maybe in another country. Like with us, we have the 24 countries available to us. It only takes one person to really set up the spark to build something massive. And so the really key word to this is what I'm talking about with training is it really comes back to the belly to belly. If you don't see a lot of movement going on in your business, pick up the phone. And some people don't want to hear that because we went in through a total transformation of social. They said you only need to do things online. Oh, the future is just and perish the thought because you can already see it. When I follow the big business sites, business of fashion, business of this, they're showing that there's a lot of people who are craving human connection. This is why people are starting these meetup groups. These are what because people almost forgot how to meet with people because of the situation that we were in a few years ago. And regardless of what you feel about it, it got people to be so online that now there is a boomerang effect. Or people are like, I need to meet with people. I need to be out there and meeting with people, and I want to be around people. And how are you going to build the most loyal brand out there? By being invested in the community. I mean, if you look at any of the great brands, say for example, with energy drinks, okay, regardless of what you think about energy drinks, of course, Ion has the best energy out there, of course. But when it comes to energy drinks, the ones that have lasted, it wasn't ones that just did it online. I mean, the Monsters and Red Bulls, their ingredients aren't that great. But why are they so big? It's because they invested on the ground culture. They want people to go to their events. They see their brand everywhere. When I have my Ion shirt, I'm going to tell you, and I'm probably going to put a message in the back. I'm going to wear that Ion shirt every single day. I have the classic Ion shirt, okay? But I can't wait to get one of these sexy black and white ones or maybe a different color and have it there centered. Everywhere I go, where there's an event, if it allows me to wear a suit with the shirt under it, I'm going to wear it. And everyone's going to say, what is Ion, Nate? You're always wearing Ion. And you might be saying, well, I want to look cool. Well, great. I'll look cool when I got deposits coming in every single day, every single hour, every single minute from all over the world. That's what's cool to me because in this stage in building your Ion business, it's all about getting attention and having collaboration, getting attention to your brand. So if I'm out and about, that's just passive. That is passive people asking them questions. I mean, and I'm at to the point where I'd want to have a little message in the back or in the front asking me how to lose 5 pounds and within 5 days. I don't mind having that kind of stuff. Why? Because I know the power of promotion. Maybe that's not you, and that's okay. However, that is what I've done to. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. Why is that? It's because, and remember, it's maybe not even you. Maybe you have someone in your organization or potentially have someone coming in that wants to do that. See, sometimes we don't ask enough qualifying questions, meaning that, some people say, well, I have this online system where all you got to do is plug people in and you're set. But we should have really kind of qualified them in the training. I always ask people when I train people, what are you into? Are you into people? Are you into meeting with people when it comes to your local marketplace? Yeah, I love meeting with people. I want to be out there. I want to be a super, person that goes out there and is also recognized and gets promoted. Well, that's a perfect candidate for someone to be out there in the field. But if we don't ask these questions, we won't know. Some will be more online. Hey, Nate, I'm really good at connecting with people online. Hey, Nate, I'm good at both of those things. See, that's why we cannot prejudge because I've seen systems, and the reason why some of these online systems go by the wayside is because we assume everyone is a monolith, meaning that everyone is one certain way. You don't have to do on the ground meetings. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. And that's just not the case because what if they do? Because here's what I'd say when it comes to doing online versus offline. Of course, you do both if you can do both. But what I would say is, how do you know that they don't want, just because you don't like being on the ground and meeting with people doesn't mean that they don't want to be. Some of these people want to be a community leader. Some of them want their faces out there. Some of them want to do that. And I've met a lot of successful people like that. So we cannot prejudge what people are going to be doing. However, that magic is that human connection. For some people, that might be terrifying because they don't really want to interact with people as much. But for other people, that's the best thing about this business is that you can be an introverted person. Suddenly you meet one single person in your local marketplace or maybe online. You only have to be right once if you're say persistent and consistent, and suddenly you become a genius. And the mentor that I was talking about in the very beginning, that's what happened to him. Now, without saying his name, I'll tell you exactly what happened. He actually went through 12 or 13 companies, not making a check. He was a flight attendant and he was deep in debt, trying to figure things out. And then he decided just to be consistent, one new person a month. And when it came to that company, it was also a coded plan. And it was like us, except there's upfront bonuses. With us, it's more on the residual side. That's way better. And so he continued to sponsor one a month. He was consistent. And guys, at $99, that is not that difficult. You simply have to really be urgent with great creating the order. But at $99, I sponsor a new person every single month. I mean, every single week, I mean. So this week I sponsored my brother. Last week I sponsored Harold. The week before that, I sponsored Richard. So every week I make sure that I sponsor at least one. I do what you do. And so what happened is that he was so consistent with it that he said, okay, one, until he sponsored a lady out of New Mexico. And that lady in New Mexico led to 50,000 affiliates in that company. Suddenly, he says, I became a genius. That video inspired me so much. It was a VHS tape back in the day. For those of us who remember VHS, it was absolutely unbelievable to see a guy go from obscurity to rock star in just a few months because he decided to be consistent, because he decided not to prejudge. I'm betting there's people in your phone that you're prejudging right now. However, how difficult is it to send them a message right now? How difficult is it to follow up? That's why you all are rock stars. You know, I see people here like Mark, who I believe is a rock star. And the reason why I believe you guys are rock stars is because you are literally one person away from doing it. Because I know you guys have been consistent with coming in the training. I see all these massive amounts of people who are clamoring for something different. And it only takes one person in your local marketplace. What if Harry knows Sally, Sally knows Susie, Susie knows Mai, and Mai knows someone in the Philippines? And then you have someone in the Philippines who knows one of the biggest networkers in the United States. You never know. And that's the power of being able to sponsor in other countries, is that I truly believe most of the bulk of the volume, this is me personally, will come from the United States because we're just that type, that we're fast, we're urgent, we want to get stuff done. That's the American spirit. However, that phase one of building out this way, it's going to lead. Why? Because we're such a diverse country. We have somewhere a land of immigrants. Then it's going to go to other countries, and then vice versa. It's going to come back here because everyone's relatives are here in the United States. So that's how you're going to build a worldwide, consistent monthly revenue or weekly revenue coming in over and over and over again. That's what's so exciting is because I'm here in the Philippines and I'm getting checks every single week from Ion. And you see orders coming in over and over and over and over again. And that's what's so exciting is that these repeat orders, these orders that are out there. And I will tell you this right now. If you can get 100 in your local marketplace, and if you have, that's maybe four leaders that are leading, four or five leaders who are leading 20 each, or you just look at it that way. Don't look at it as hundreds all coming from you. You got five people who each have a group of 20. If you can get 100 in your local marketplace, the corporate team, me, Banny, Eric, Holly, I mean, everyone else is going to fly to your local marketplace and we're going to get some stuff done. Why? Because we want to be out there in the field. We want to wear our Ion shirts. We want to get some Ion swagger out there. We want to get the product out there. We want to make sure that you have a long lasting, reoccurring income. And with people who just love the product. I mean, think about it. They're buying this stuff at the store anyway. They're buying these products anyway. These are the things that people are buying every single month because why? Health is so important nowadays. I can't I can't stress how many times that I have seen on Instagram and TikToks and the Facebooks of people now pivoting to saying, what is the meaning of all this if we don't have our health? And you're seeing it more and more and more because ever since what happened, the thing that happened 2 years ago, that unbelievable thing, people are becoming a lot more health conscious and they want some cheap insurance. That's what supplementation is. It is cheap insurance against something that's can massively affect your life. And all the products are incredible. And that's why I always say have more product on hand. You want to be sampling. You want to get product out there. You want people to be involved in having the product. And I personally I get a bunch of the 15-day cleanse. And then what I do is that I give it away as fast as I can. And then I tell them, hey, you want to lose 5 pounds in 5 days? Well, and you might even get it the next first 2 days. You might have 5 pounds in 2 days. Who knows? And results may vary, but you just got to try it. What's in it? Oh, I mean, it's just some healthy stuff. It's some herbs. I'm telling you, you just got to try it. Do you trust me? Yes, bam. And I'm going to be doing that, especially when I'm not just here, but also in the United States. I'm going to put on my Ion shirt. I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to give it away. I'm going to go to organization. Why? Because I know it's not about the onesie twos, just the onesie twosies, meaning that it's not just about meeting with people one on one. It's what one person can lead you to. Because I always think about my mentor. His name's Jordan. And Jordan, once again, he said it was one person that led to 50,000 affiliates. Imagine this. I want you to visualize right now. What would your life be like if you were making $1? And with Ion, it's $2 to $8 per product after master. That's why it's so important to hit master. But imagine if you're making $1 from 50,000 orders. I'm not talking about affiliates or people, I'm talking about orders. 50,000 orders a month. How would your life change? How would it feel to know that that's coming in every single month? And imagine every week seeing, maybe that divided out. That's about what, 12,000 orders a week? Imagine that, 12,5. Imagine 12,500 orders coming in every single week. And all because you didn't give up. Because you put out the orders. You basically did the onesie twosies until you can find someone to duplicate. Because remember, it's not just about, I always say it all the time. It doesn't matter if you're an attorney or doctor, if you don't have the ego. And I never had that kind of ego. I didn't care what people thought about me. And what I mean by that is that because I knew once the success is there, everyone's going to be like, oh, either he got lucky or I saw him grind when I didn't believe in him or whatever it might be. Because at $99, all it takes is really one. And there's going to be one who's just going to blow it out there with reckless abandon if you continue to be consistent. I always tell people with our daily method of operation, if you can talk to 1 to 2 new people a day, meaning that you send a DM, a direct message, you send a message out there, you send a text message out there, you will beat everyone else out there because there's always one who will take this seriously while you're doing your job, while you're doing your work, while you're doing your business. You'll find one who's going to want to do it independently because they don't have your business. They don't have the job that you have. Some of them, this is what they needed. You see, when it comes to building a big organization, we can't always think about the perspective from us, what we like. That's why I tell people, you might be an online marketing expert, but not everyone wants to do that. Some people really do like what you hate to do or dislike to do. And that's the power of leverage. You are leveraging the talents of other people. For example, in a traditional company, if you don't like accounting, find someone good at accounting. If you don't like this, find someone good at that. Your organization will be a mix. I remember talking to a number one earner, and he said it was always a mix, but there's a big consistent reason. The big volumes that were coming in that were consistent over and over again are those they had the online people, but those online people found people who were building cultures on the ground. You may not see it as much because a lot of the Facebook and so on and so forth have dominated and it kind of shows. But you know what? When I see these big leaders, a lot of them are still doing the Flintstones. Even in a Jetson, like why? Because the more we go Jetsons, the more we get detached, the more people want social interaction and human connection. Guys, if you understand that, If you understand, if so, for example, if we didn't, why we need human interaction, why you need a real person, why it can't just be AI and things like that. Why? Because if that were true, then all you needed are the online training videos. But online training videos are the logic part. It takes someone to motivate to go out there and build out with reckless abandon and be there and handhold and basically say, Nate, I'm doing the right thing because we need someone to say, is what I'm doing right? And we need to hear it with a passion and conviction. A lot of people, especially if you're in finance or things like that, are so logical. They think, hey, we have this training, we have this, we have that. Why isn't it growing? It's because you forgot that people want human connection. If you're ever wondering why you're having a stall in your business or a stall in building an organization, I'm telling you the secret. I never hold back the secret to building a huge ion organization. The secret is essentially how am I personally sponsoring a new person every week? I'm not even going 100% in my opinion. That's me. That's my personal responsibility. I'm not going 100%, but I'm still sponsoring. Why? It's because I'm constantly talking about Ion. I'm not embarrassed about it. I would put on this shirt. I had the old shirt too. I'm right now losing weight. I did the 15-day cleanse. I did another cycle of that. I lost, I was 220. I just hit 200, I think I'm 214 as of today, and then in 2 days. So, I've been eating getting clogged up and so on and so forth. And I'm fired up all over again. Man, I got on the sat on the scale. That's a weird look, but I stood on the scale and I was excited. Now in the Philippines, it's kilograms, so I have to convert it because I'm American. But I was like, wow, what is that? It looks like it's a lot lower. And then I got on there and I said, wow, it really, really works. I'm always reminded how well our products. So these are some of the best products out there. Why? Because they just flat out work, guys, and they give you instant results. And those instant results will lead to people having the fruit and veggie caps. This is the fruit and veggies, and these fruit and veggies. I mean, I love it. I take the cleanse. After I'm good with the cleanse, maybe a few days of the cycle, bam, back on the fruit and veggies. Why? Because you need to replace all that nutrition that's out there. What a simple system. Yeah. And then you just teach them to be a lot more active and more fit. I was talking to Team New Jersey, Harold, and Team New Jersey is really excited because they have a fitness line and they're like, how can we integrate doing this? And I was teaching them, hey, let's build something on the ground. They're like, that makes sense. I mean, look at And One back in the day. Look at Nike. Look at all they had to invest in getting attention. Nike wouldn't be where it is today if they didn't push so hard against Adidas in getting Michael Jordan and getting the attention. How did they get attention? They put the non-conforming shoes and paying the NBA fines every single time they did a game. Why? Because they wanted attention to the Nike brand. Yeah, it's easy to see the successes of every company. It is so easy to see this until you see what it took. It was consistently getting attention to the brand and collaborating. And the best thing about building a business like this is that you're not doing it forever, meaning that you build enough momentum, enough all of that. Why is it that when we join or say we part of a company that's been around for 20 years, you hear the stories. You hear, we wouldn't be $1 billion company today if it weren't for Mark in the back of his truck selling protein powder in a plastic baggie, which sounds suspicious already in Los Angeles. But if you think about it, you hear these stories and you hear what CEOs and people have done. But then, Mark, even after he passed away, I mean, he owns a mountain in Los Angeles, and you can only tell how much that would cost. So it was the actions of what he did, say at the time of that interview, 20 years beforehand, selling at the back of his truck a protein powder in the so-called poorer area of Beverly Hills. Now, do you think people made fun of him? Do you think people were just like, oh, what are you doing with that protein powder thing? Oh, what are you doing with that that weight management pills? You're a doctor. You're an attorney. Why are you doing this? There will always be people like that. But that's the thing is that they always criticize in the beginning, but once you pull up with your freedom, with your Ferrari, when you pull up with the things that you've wanted to always do, because remember, this is side income. I never say quit your job. If you love being a doctor, be a doctor. If you love being an attorney, You get an attorney. I mean, whatever floats your boat, do it. Imagine making $1, $2, $8 on an extra 300, 400, 500 orders. That can stave off a bankruptcy. That can pay a credit card bill. That can buy your dream car. Some people, it doesn't always have to be, put it into something. Sometimes you just want to have something fun for yourself. That's good for your mental health. I actually don't mind that. I know people, they're like, look, I want to just do this. Why? Because I can buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. And you know what? I don't knock it because I'm like, hey, you know what? If you're good in your life right now and you just want some extra money to enjoy your life, that's fantastic. And you know what I'm so grateful with Ion is that I can live in the Philippines. And that extra Ion income, so-called extra, right? Jim Rohn, that's why I talk about it. And I'll tell you about that audio in a second. Being in the Philippines to see that Ion income come in every single week, I mean, it goes a long way over here. I mean, the Philippines is basically the United States 5 years ago where I live. And you get a Burger King Whopper. I don't need a Burger King Whopper right now because I'm losing weight, but you get it for like a $6 meal. It goes a long way here. And so that's why you never know who you can bless with this. When I think about Ion, I want you to think this, not think, oh, I'm trying to recruit them so they can just buy product. No, I'm trying to bless people with this product because it might be the answer. I mean, we talked to Jane. Now, Jane's in a few companies, but she has a big salon in Los Angeles. She would team Los Angeles. And here's the thing. She just messaged me while I'm here. She said, I need more product. And this is a lady who auto ships 3, 4 products every single month. And she's like, I keep running out of that 15-day cleanse. I'm like, well, you should order more. And I love it because that tells me something. Imagine if we had, 10, 100 Janes. That's an extra how many products? That's what? 5 times 100. That's 500 products. Why? Because people are just like, she told me all the time, she's like, the 15-day cleanse is the only thing I've ever felt that worked for management. Isn't that crazy? Why? Because it's a direct effect. Now imagine that. I'm getting a consistent order from her every single month. And is she the easiest to train? Not necessarily, because, English isn't her first language. She has a salon, and sometimes, she gets like all these other things that she does. She does the marathons, and that's great because if you had just 10 of her or 100 of her, you're set. You're making an extra few $100 or maybe even a four-figure income every single month. And imagine what happens when you find the right leader. See, we always think in our head it's all about finding people who are going to just take this by the reins and become on the ground leaders and lead the training like how, but that's not necessarily true. Sometimes it's just a large amount of people who just love the product and are customers. And maybe you have micro influencers who have maybe a group of 10 or 20 customers, but that adds up. Imagine that you got 10 or 20 customer accounts, each one's buying three, two, three, four products every single month. That's a few $100, guys. And you know what? When you see the testimonials, the energy, massive testimonials, you see all these products, massive testimonials. And if you haven't tried the other products yet, start today. Go in that back office, message Holly, buy some other products today, and get on your fitness game. In fact, why I'm on my fitness game so much is that I do notice when I lose a lot of weight, people want to join Ion. When I get really fit, people want to join Ion. And that's why I'm really set on stage. And as you can tell, we are growing when it comes to the culture. You see what we did here in the Philippines. We got a whole nightclub inside of Resorts World. If any of y'all been to Las Vegas, heard about Resorts World, one of the nicest hotels there. There's the same one here in the Philippines. We got their premier nightclub and we put all of the on. You saw it on the big screen, Ion Safe. But you know what? That's just good for attention. That's good to get the brand out there. You know what's really more important? You guys, you participants, you leaders who are on this call and saying, I just need a little bit of a nudge. Because I really believe every one single person on this call, you know what you got to do. And you just got to ask yourself, am I being today busy or productive? That's all you got to ask yourself. Are you being busy or productive? Because the only thing that lead to it, I remember I was talking to Alvin on the Facebooks, and Alvin said, "Yeah, I'm sampling the sleep product to my friend Craig." And I think Craig's getting an effect. He likes it. And, he likes the things that we have. So we planted a seed because Craig's already in direct sales. He's in a network marketing company. And he was like, you know what? When I talked to him on the phone, Craig through Alvin, I know it planted a seed because no matter what, every time there's a hiccup, because there's nothing else out there like us. We don't do BVCV, we do dollar amounts. We have free shipping. We got products which are similar price to Amazon, sometimes less. I mean, that's unbelievable. And when they hear that, yeah, they might be, which I understand, which is a good thing. If they're not switching over right away, that means that they don't want to give up yet. And they put a lot of time. We got to respect that. However, by planting that seed, and if you don't, here's the thing, if you don't plant a seed in the ground, nothing will grow. You got to plant those seeds. I just simply said the truth about our company, the truth. And when you tell the truth about our company and you plant that seed, guess what? It grows. And I know every time there's an issue, every time he sees a $150, $300 auto ship order, and he gets like one or two products, he's going to say, man, that Ion looks good. Man, that Ion sounds incredible. And you got to look at this. If you're a business owner, if you're running a business, whether it's a fashion show, pageant, traditional small business, things like that, you got to look at how you're promoting. And it's not just online. It's, are you reaching out to a new organization, a new person every single day? I'm just talking about one, just one. Are you reaching out to one new organization, one new person every single day? Because all it takes is one. I used to not like that phrase because I'm like, it's so true. But where is the one? Where are you? I thought this was the one. It's not the one. But don't ever berate someone and try to drag them over the finish line. Meaning that, what if one person, I mean, remember my first time in networking, I didn't make any money my first 6 months, 7 months. Why? Because it was my mindset. I was still learning. 80% of it is mindset. Some of y'all, I mean, I've seen people stay in for over a year, then suddenly they don't even notice it, but their mindset has changed. Let me tell you something. There is a show called Star Trek. Okay, I'm a big Trekkie. Okay, I'm a Trek fan, and they're about to conclude this show called Star Trek Discovery. And I didn't even notice the changes in the main character until they had the last 2 episodes ago. They actually had the season 5 character confront the season 1 character. Okay. And what happened is that I remember that the season 1 character was a lot more crazier and out there. But it wasn't until I saw the two together where I was like, wow, I didn't even notice this evolution of a person. Same thing, guys, is that you may not realize it, but subconsciously you're becoming unconsciously competent by consistently going on these trainings. Suddenly you're going to get one small thing subconsciously, or you're going to emulate it with intention, and you're going to say, I don't know if I'm making a big change, but I did. I was at when I do the nightclubs here in the Philippines, it's not just to go out and party. I don't have time for that. It's to network because that's where a lot of the big hitters are. That's where I've met with some of the big leaders over here in the Philippines. And I was listening to one of my best friends who is actually from a big political family and a promoter and things like that. And what's the first thing I heard when he was talking to this one person? And then he said, you know what? My friend Nate says it. You are the sum average of the 5 people that you closely associate yourself with. And I heard it out of the corner of my ear. And the other guy's like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I've never heard of that. And so I see now the change that's in him. He went from a socially awkward person to, to now someone who is repeating self-development. And if you want to know what that audio is, look up Jim Rohn, Jimrohn. Jim Rohn, I mean, he had one of the best audios out there. He was the lead trainer of that company that Mark was in, and it's a $5 billion company. It's called Building Your Network Marketing Business. Regardless of the verbiage that we use now, it's still such a great audio. I would recommend, it's less than an hour. I would recommend listening to it because it is really knowledge. And even if you're not religious, I mean, for me, I mean, the Bible does have incredible things where it talks about it. You got to sow the seeds, you got to do that and understand that the harvest is, you do this thing and then you harvest in the spring. I mean, there's a lot of these lessons which are really important to understand because we want it now so much. but don't let the idea of now, and of course you want urgency. You want urgency. However, some people, it takes time to sprout those seeds. And so that's why you got to be consistent. Because if even it took a year for you to find the people who will blow this thing up, isn't it worth it? Because your life is blueprinted for you. You're going to go to school for 4 to 13 years, possibly. You're going to get a career and hopefully have enough to retire. Or you got to move somewhere else to retire nowadays with the inflation and how things are just, income hasn't kept up with the economy and, regardless of the political ramifications of all that stuff. But remember this, the only one that can affect the economy really in a very loud way is you have to affect your own economy. And how do you do that? I recommend through Ion. Why? Because every single opportunity that I've ever had was because of direct sales. Why? Because it forces people to network. Why? Because people can be self-interested. Of course, they want to make money. They want to be in the best health of their life. And if they like something, they're going to introduce you to more people. They're like, hey, Nate, this person owns, this big music record label. Nate, and even if those, and I'm telling you, all those really rich people, they become customers regardless. That's why I like talking to those people. I mean, don't, once again, spend 1 minute with 100 people, not 100 minutes with one. And don't be intimidated because of a title. Usually because they have such success, they are the ones willing to become a customer right away. Oh yeah, one price. Oh no, let me get three or four. Why? Think about it. They go shopping all the time. They go to these $100 lunches. Why wouldn't they? To them, having a few products, that's oh, I'd love to try some new products. You'll get actually more success. If you can get one thing out of this, you'll have more success by recruiting by those who have the income already. They just want something different, or they want more freedom, or they want to just be in better health. They have the disposable income to do it. I'm not saying prejudge anyone. See, this business may not be for everyone, but it's not up to us with our ego to prejudge it for them. I'm going to say that again. It's not up to us to prejudge it with our ego for them. If you prejudged me, where would I be? I was just a college student. I was just a nobody when someone talked to me on that college campus, that fateful day, how many years ago? Changed my life forever. I probably, if that person never talked to me, probably wouldn't be living in the field. And imagine if that person just gave up on me, meaning that I didn't make any income for the first 6 months. Zero. If you've made a check in the first month that you've been here with Ion or you've done anything of the sort, you are better than me. No joke. Don't look at the person. This is years of me learning and disciplining and doing those things. But I will say this, and we'll end off in the next few minutes, is that it took me a while to get to this pace. Was that going to be everyone? No, that's why you got to plant a lot of seeds. Every lesson I teach is very simple. It's easy to do, easy not to do. Every single week we say it. Easy to do, easy not to do. It's easy to think about one exposure a day, but it's also easy not to do. Is it easy to talk to a new person every day? It is. With the power of the internet, with just going outside, easy to do, easy not to do. But sometimes we need to get that conception of essentially saying, hey, I just need to talk to one person and not let my own ego and fear get in the way. Everything you want is outside of your comfort zone. That's any business. If you're pursuing any business, we're pursuing a pageant. It's not even called beauty pageant anymore, like a pageant. We're pursuing fashion shows. We're doing all these things. We're going to slap Ion on everything. And you know what? We're going to find someone through these events. That's the whole point of doing these advertisings and things like that. That's why we do them. And so that's why I'm extremely, extremely excited for what we got going on because Ion just keeps getting better and better and better. No joke. Every single week, I get on calls with Eric and Banny, and all they talk about is how do we make this better for people? How do we make it easier for people? How do we make this the greatest company for people? And you know what I always say too? We are the greatest company. Why? Because you can see that our base and foundation is sound. Now we just got to tell the world. We got to bring wellness to the world. We got to do those things. And I'm so grateful that Banny reached out to me that time ago because I was ready. I had this dream system in play from, I designed it years ago after reading about my mentors and the coded plan and all those things. When after I read about it, I said, this is the perfect plan. I've experienced it, and it would be so perfect if someone can do it with a product style company, and we could reduce price. We could do all those things. And I'm so grateful that Banny approached me all those that time ago, and we were able to come together. And each one of us is magic. Eric is magic. Banny is magic. Holly is magic. Fabricio is magic. And all together with you guys, we are magic. Everyone on this call, from Team Wisconsin to Team Florida to Team Michigan, no, everyone who's on here and all the internationals that is going to be blowing up. I can't wait for when there's 100 people in a room and we're going to be flying every single week to a new location. Why? Because I love it. Not everyone loves doing that, but I love doing that. I love getting to know you people. I love getting to see your successes. And I'm excited because one of these days, a few people, you're either going to find someone or you're going to become someone. Ah, you're either going to find someone or become someone. And suddenly your life can go from tragic to magic in just a short period of time because of Ion. Why? Because $99 is not too difficult, especially since it's a flat $99, guys. You're getting a fast start that when we say get four, you really are making your money with four, not five, six, with four. And you're getting all these. I mean, at Icon, you're making $40 every time you sponsor at $99. That's unbelievable. So, guys, we just got to go out there with reckless abandon. I tell every story from Starbucks to all these huge companies, from Microsoft. What's so consistent? From Bill Gates, even if you don't like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, all of them, they got out into the field and they talked with people. And they did it until it became so massive and huge that people just came to them. That's the key. If it is to be, it's up to me. I'm gonna say it again. If it is to be, it's up to me. Everything we teach is easy to do, easy not to do. I just got to plant the seed. The seeds that I plant today, if I do it with urgency, with leadership, with three-way calls, I'm gonna harvest out there in the spring and in the fall. Guys, plant the seeds in the spring, you'll get it in the fall. And I'm just so proud to be a part of the Ion family. I'm proud that all these teams are here representing your state. And I am excited to go to every single one of those states because every time I go to a different state, I see magic in the local marketplace. And that's what Ion is. Ion is magic, guys. And as you can tell with a smile on my face, I really believe this. Why? Because we have no competition. The only competition is ourselves. The only competition is making sure we don't get so comfortable because Ion is such a good company. It is such a good company that it's easy to get comfortable. And we have to make sure that we do that. So, what do I do? With this training, I see who's consistent. There's so many. I'm glad that you're all consistent. What I would do is make sure that you start scheduling stuff on your calendar, following up. Maybe you look through your phone list or your Facebook list and see who you haven't talked to yet and just send them a message right now. I challenge you all to do one message before you end this tonight because I know some of y'all are going to sleep, go to sleep early, but try to send one message out there and say, from the script, from the one page sheet, and do it. And I do challenge you to get some of the Ion swagger, wear it. Why? Because once again, it only takes one person. One person. You wear that shirt, maybe you see a message in the back, or whatever it might be. Or maybe you wear like something. I don't care. I don't even wear a button. I don't care. I mean, I'm cool already. I don't care. wear a button where like you get excited about these things, and you maybe someone will stop you. I want to lose 5 pounds in 5 days. You give them a little baggie with a 15-day cleanse, and just say, look, just tell me how you feel after a day or two. And guess what? One person might make all the difference. Every single person, every big company, every small company, every big direct sales company, everything that I've ever seen has always started with someone deciding with a moment of disgust that I'm going to go out there and change my life. Why? Because if you invest the time now, you can have freedom for the rest of your life. No joke. I have never had a job before, ever, 9 to 5. I don't say that with any arrogance or anything like that. I just say it's because I worked really hard. Even now today, I know I love being with the people. And I'm an introvert extrovert. There's times where I don't want to be around people. I want to be just quiet. I just want to be with myself. I want to take singular walks just around my city. And so you see this person here in front of you. Quite frankly, I'm not always like this. And you have to understand that is that, see, you don't have to find the most craziest extroverted people out there. There's people like me who are just excited and we're consistent and we're disciplined. And this took time to become this way. Once again, I did not make any money in my first direct sales company for 6 or 7 months. And then my seventh month, I made $100 check because I had to really ask someone to come on board. Like, come on, you got to do it, man. And so, if it weren't for that learning lesson, I wouldn't have had success years later on. So with that, guys, I'm excited for you. I want you to think about your favorite companies and think about how they started and the hard work they did to attract investors, attract people. It is the same process, guys, in every single state on here. You got to start today. Act as if today is day one. Act as if today is the day you're planting the seeds. Activist today is the day that you actually took the reins of your business and you built it out there, because why Ion is the perfect company. It is the magical company. It is the company that's going to change everything. And everyone will always say it and be part of that story where you say, I was there at the beginning. I built the seeds, and that's why we have that legacy legend company that we have today. Guys, with that, my name is Nate Kalima. Thank you for all the teams that are here or on there. Thank you to the leadership on here. I'll see you guys next week. Make sure it's on your calendars. Thank you, guys, and God bless.